Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. Targaye Nicole here. How are you guys doing? I hope you are doing well. So today I'm doing a part of my series called Road to Owner. No, that's not it. Road to Home Ownership. Okay. I can speak, I promise. If you're new, welcome. If you're not new, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly do appreciate it. On today's video, I will be sharing some questions that I asked the realtor that I ended up going with, where I'm going with, before I chose her. So I think it's a good idea, first off, to say that I think you should find a couple options and you should try to interview them all. Or if you feel more comfortable with one, then interview that person. What I did was my sister had already bought a home and I asked for a recommendation from her, and her realtor worked more in an area where she lives. So that didn't quite work out. And then my dad had given me a recommendation, but after speaking and dealing with him, I really wasn't feeling his vibe. And then on Credit Karma, they had a questionnaire or something about what I could afford in a home, and I did that. And then they ended up sending me some information on people who could help me, and they sent three people. One person I don't think reached out. The other person, I did not like their vibe. They never followed back up with me as soon as they heard that I was not ready to buy it. And the other person and her team reached out to me and stayed in contact with me for months, and I wasn't even a client yet. So this is the lady that I think I'm going to go with. Once, I start looking and I'm 100% sure, which I'm pretty much right now, still just praying on it, I will definitely disclose her name after the process, or maybe during the process, if I continue to like her, because I don't want to say anything bad and then her name is out there. You know, I don't want no problems. Um, so I decided that I was going to do like a short interview. I've been contacting her with cell phone, like text messages over time, over the months, and she's been super quick with responses. I even asked her what she thought I should say for the house, and she was saying she's the one who told me the 7 to 10, even though I'd already figured it out. I kind of just wanted to see where her head was at, and she was just trying to rush me and like, oh girl, you don't need no money, then you can get it through a program. No, she was very cautious. I really appreciated that. She seemed very truthful. So after I decided that I didn't want to work with the other people because the vibe wasn't right, I was like, I texted her and said if she had any time to speak, and she gave me a time to call her, and I did. So in that being said, these are some of the questions that I asked her, and I thought it would be good to share with you if you are going to be possibly looking for an agent soon, or looking for a home and you need a real estate agent. These are some questions that you may want to ask. My questions are over here. So if you see me look over, that is why. I have a list of 18. I think you should pick the top 5 or 6 that you want to ask, because you don't know what kind of time that person has. See how the conversation is rolling. And if you're having a good convo and you feel like they're okay with answering more, then keep asking. But I feel like, you got to respect people's time. If they really are busy, then they might not have time to be answering all your questions. Not to be rude, would you have time? So, first one is, how long have you been a realtor? And how many transactions have you closed or helped close on average? Great question. That way, you know if this person has been in the business for a while or not, and you can decide whether or not that is a person you want to deal with. Number 2 is, are you a full time or a part time realtor? Good question, because if they're part time, what do they do with the rest of their time? Are they going to be busy with their other job and not being able to help you? Whereas if they're full time and this is what they do, then they should be all about you and their business. I don't think I would work with somebody who was doing this part time, but that's just me personally. Number 3, how do you normally, or would you normally schedule showings? So for me, it's important that I'm able to see something, especially in this seller market that we're in currently. Hopefully when you're buying, it's the buyer's market. But in the seller market that you're currently in this pandemic time, for me, I want to have somebody who is willing to show it, if not 7 days a week, because you respect your church day or whatever it may be, or your off day that you give yourself. I would like you to be able to, have a 24-hour to 48-hour turnaround, even maybe same day, depending on how the market is, and be able to show me on weekends as well, or multiple days a week. Everything is just my preference, but definitely, consider what you would like. If you work all week and all you have is weekends and that person doesn't show anything on the weekends, they really can't help you, you know? So this is number 4. Why did you get into real estate? You know, you probably want to not hear something like, oh, I got into a side hustle because I wanted some extra money. And that might be the truth, but I would want to work with somebody who's a little passionate. Maybe if they wanted to switch business plans and they help people. And I do also, you know, like I do, you don't know, I do prefer honesty as well. So if that's what they did, and as long as they love it now, that's cool. Number 5, how many clients do you usually work with? Um, this one for me, I would prefer someone to say they have a decent amount of clients, maybe not like overworked and overstressed and overwhelmed enough with clients, but I don't want to be your only client. So if you tell me that I am your only client, then my concern is that you're going to push any home on me because I'm the only way that you're going to be able to get a commission of any sort. And yeah, I don't want to be under that kind of pressure because maybe that house is not for me and I don't want to be forced into feeling like you're just trying to get me to buy something quick because you need to get paid. You need to be working with other people. And then number 6, will I be working with you or your team, and who will be showing me the houses? So I don't mind that a person has a team. That's great. But sometimes when I have a bond with a realtor, I want to make sure that I'm working with them 99% of the time and that they're showing me, because I don't want to have to try and figure out a whole new personality, explain my story all over again. And why are you showing me this? Because it's not what I like. So-and-so already knows what I like. Why are you here? Unless they're like sick or they're working for each other, then that's a whole different story. I'm not ridiculously crazy but overall, I would prefer that if they are working a team, that I work with them closely. And it's nice for people to have a team. Maybe someone else does a different part of it that makes their life easier, as in to make you more able to focus on me when it does come to showing homes and finding me something. So number 7, what areas do you primarily do business in? Meaning, what areas do they normally sell homes in? If they're not in your area and they're far away, I would not go with them. You know, like I wouldn't want to be in Manhattan and somebody is in like South Jersey. I'm not in Jersey or Manhattan right now, but just in general, like that's too far for them to come every day to show me things. That's too far to be commuting. More than likely, they don't really know about that area that well. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. But that would be a concern for me. But you to take it however you think is best. But I just think it would be a good question. And number 8, what sets you apart from other agents? I think a lot of people enjoy talking about themselves, so this should be an easy question from them. What do they do that's different? Do they recommend you writing letters? Do they farm certain areas? Do they walk up and knock on people's doors, or have client to client? Do they have realtor to realtor interactions with a lot of people? Like, I'm sure they know something that makes them different from other real estate agents. One of the questions I did ask, number 9, was, do you live in the area? This does not have to be something for you, but it was important to me because I wanted the person to be kind of close to me, so where I could keep in touch with them. But you don't have to, but I would like for them to at least live in the area that I'm looking in. Or know the area that I'm looking at. They live close. That's a personal thing to me. That's up to you. But it could be a question you want to consider asking. And number 10, are there any realtor fees for buyers? So in this case, I'm a buyer and there are, realtors for sellers, which in that case, there usually are fees. And usually there are not any fees for buyers, but it's a good idea to ask because I've heard there are times where certain buyers, they didn't realize they'd be paying a fee and they have had to pay a fee. So just ask the question. My lady did not have any fees. And 11, how will we communicate? Move this on up your list. I think this is a must ask because if you're a person that likes to talk on the phone and your realtor likes to text, this is not going to work, right? Like you both need to be like, okay, we're going to mostly text, or we're mostly going to call, or we're mostly going to email. Like, figure out what the best way is, and if it's going to switch up during different parts. Like, maybe in the beginning it's okay to text me with just the information on the houses, but when it comes to me filling out forms, I'm going to need you to be available to talk to me, because I don't understand the words that are coming out the text message. Like, just be able to talk to, and communication is major, because that's why I feel like it's really good to not only find someone who does their job well, but also messes with you, because you're gonna have to that's a big purchase in your life. You're gonna have to talk to that person, whether it's text, email, phone, whatever you choose to do, a lot probably, you know? Okay, and so number 12, what do you do when you have to work with a difficult client? This one you could probably skip, but I think I ended up skipping it. But you could ask this, because if you want to understand how your realtor handles when things aren't going totally right, when someone's giving them a hard time, um, how they react to things, what they would do to problem solve that. Because a lot of times the home buying process is not 1, 2, 3 easy peasy, doesn't always go smoothly. So you want to make sure you're dealing with someone who can handle the pressure, and maybe the question is just the pressure. So number 13, what are some good lenders to, oh no, that's a personal one. How does it work? Okay, number 13 was, and this is a question you probably don't have to ask, it's just something that I asked. What are some good lenders to work with? Do they have any preferred lenders that they work with? Maybe, once you do a lender, before you go to a realtor, you should be looking for a lender. But sometimes a realtor, if you have them in mind, has a lender that they enjoy working with, and they may be able to give you a great rate. Keep in mind that when you do apply for a mortgage lender, that it does hit your points, usually about 2 to 5 points. But if you do all of them within the 45-day period, you only get hit once, because that's considered the same kind of type of inquiry on your credit report. So try and get a couple, at least 3 lender quotes before you go with one. But see if that person has a specific person they like to work with that they know gets things done, and maybe you end up going with them. Maybe you end up going with somebody who has a lower rate. Number 14, how is the market in my area looking right now? So you can listen to videos and YouTube and read articles, but the person out there working is the realtor. So they know what's going on in the market right now. Is it a buyer's market? Is it a seller's market? And I feel like if you have a good realtor, they'll be able to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you, like, you could try to lowball this person, but it's going to be insulting and you probably won't get it. You could try to get a deal on this one and you'll probably get it, or you won't get it. So I think they're truthful, and I think don't give your realtor such a hard time. I'm not a realtor, you guys. I'm just thinking, like, if you have a really good one, they really would know. So listen to them. And number 15, I asked them, do they have any questions for me? So after giving all the information about my areas that I want to look in, what I'm looking for in a house, and after we've had that talk, I think it's a good time to ask if they have any questions for you. And I think it's just like a general interview, where if an employer asks you if you have any questions for them and you don't say anything, you seem disinterested. And I think that would be the same way that I would take it if I asked you if you had any questions for me and you said no. I'd be like, so you get it all, you understand, I would feel like you're not interested in me. So I would want you to be asking me, like, are you interested in townhomes, or are you open to this area? That way I know you're thinking about what I said, or you were even listening to what I was saying, which she did. So that made me very happy. Number 16, this is not really a question. It really shouldn't be on her. 16, but I'm gonna tell you because I said there were 18. Is to share your areas, to narrow down your areas that you're looking in and see if that person is knowledgeable in those areas. It makes no sense for you to have somebody who does not know the areas that you're looking for. And number 17, almost done, 18 questions. Number 17 is, how do you handle negotiations when it comes to your initial offer, multiple offer situations, inspections, appraisals, etc.? How does that person handle all those things? How are they with negotiating? How are they with following up with paperwork? How are they with referring good people for you to use? Like, you want to make sure you have the best. You spend a lot of money on this purchase. And number 18, How familiar are you with first-time home ownerships who need down payment assistance? That was personal to me because I'm saving for a down payment. But baby, if I can get down payment assistance, you best to know I will be doing it. Okay, because the more money I can keep in my bank account means more money for any kind of reno that I choose to do if I have a fixer-upper, or any money that goes to furniture. So being a first-time owner, I want a real estate person to know about first FHA loans, USDA loans, VA loans, conventional loans, the FHA 203 renovation loan. I need them to know any programs I qualify for to help me with down payment assistance. Honey, I need you to know it all. Please, because I can only do as much research. You know what's really out there. But those were the 18 questions that I would consider asking my real estate. I'm sure there might be others. Think about your situation and what is very, very important to you. And those were things that were important to me that I asked that helped me narrow down the people to the person that I think I will be working with. I hope this video was informative and helpful. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and a like and subscribe if you enjoyed watching the video. My videos are usually budgeting, home ownership, and weight loss. So if you're interested in any of that, definitely like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. As I always say, in order to be great, you have to be grateful. And I'm super grateful for you. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Bye.